about to share with you some really key points that will help you decide whether the movie Knock at the Cabin is a hit or a miss. So let's talk about it. So Knock at the Cabin is the latest venture of M. Night Shyamalan, and if you followed my Instagram then you already know my experience at the theater, so I'm not gonna harp on that, but I will tell you that this movie is based off of a 2018 novel, The Cabin at the End of the World by Paul G. Tremblay, and it is the first adaptation of one of his works. Now the highlight of the movie is most definitely Bautista and Kristen. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name, but these two are the highlights of the movie. They perform their roles very well. They contribute the most to the story alongside Jonathan Groff and Ben Aldridge, who portrays the Kristen Kui's parents in the movie. Most of the screen time is focused on them. So yeah, everybody performs the role well. It feels realistic enough. However, there are certain parts in the film that is a slight annoyance, which I will get to it. So do watch the video all the way through. Now, Rupert Grint is in this movie, and if you don't know who he is, he's the guy who played Ron Weasley in the Harry Potter franchise. He has a very small role in this film. He's barely in it. He's the first person to be axed off, and I was very disappointed by that because I was hoping to see more of him. He has like 3 lines, and that's pretty much it. He's axed off. He's one of the first people to go. So I just didn't like that. But what I did like about is the way they deal with the situation. It feels realistic enough, and it's believable enough that I was kind of immersed in that aspect. Whether you are constantly doubting their intentions and whether they're speaking the truth or not, you're trying to find the truth, and whether or not they're telling lies or behaving like telling the truth. You're trying to find logic in their situation, and it's not up until the end you find out what you need to find out. And there isn't any big twist in the movie, which I found very surprising, since Shyamalan is known for the twist endings. Dave Bautista is the highlight of the movie. He portrays that role well. He plays, despite his physicality, he plays it in a very mature way, as if he's talking to children, which kind of makes sense knowing that he is a kindergarten teacher or something like that. So I find that very amusing. Kristen Kui is also very good in the role. It's very difficult to find good child actors, at least from the movies I've seen. It's very hit or miss with the child acting, and I feel like she did the role really well. She contributes to the story. She isn't just someone who just stands by and then watches these things. She actually contributes to the story. She actually does things in the story. Even a small support, she does offer some support. It's not like she's just a thing that lands in the background. No, she actually has something to do in this film. I also like the different personalities between Ben Aldridge and Jonathan Groff, who portrays the parents of Kristen Kui's character, Wen. So I like that one of them is the more logical one, trying to find the logic in this situation, while the other one is more is trying to make sense of it all. Even he's also struggling with the answers as to whether what they're saying is true or not. I kind of like the different dynamics, the different character interactions that these people got going on. And now what I did not like about this movie is the fact that it is not as investing as I thought it would be. None of these characters spark any emotional impact. Even if any of them axed off, I just wouldn't care. There wasn't that big of an investment in the character. I found the performance to be more entertaining, but they didn't do anything to garner any emotional investment of the character. That's my biggest problem with the movie, is that you're not emotionally connected with the characters. You don't feel anything when something happens to any of them. Even the parents of Wen, you don't really care about any of them. One more thing that really annoyed me was that just when I was starting to get invested in the main storyline, then the story sometimes cuts to the parents' flashback. Something happens and then it immediately cuts to their flashback, and then we are thrown back into the story. That kind of missed the flow of things. Like I wasn't as immersed as I should have been, because I was just when you're starting to get invested in that story, it takes you out of it by just cutting back to the flashback, which I found really annoying. And the most annoying part about this is one of the more Shyamalan tropes, which I find very annoying, is that the characters talk straight into the camera like what I'm doing. But that's not the annoying part. The annoying part is the extreme close-up. There are scenes in the movie where it's shot like this. It's this close, and you even see shot of Bautista's mouth. Like I don't really understand why. Just why? It's in all Shyamalan movies. It's become a trope of him. It's like a signature, but it's a very annoying signature. I hate that, and that's one of the reasons I hesitate to watch a Shyamalan movie in theaters, because it's annoying to me to watch that on the big screen, like such an extreme close-up of the face. But despite all the three, negatives that I gave, I still enjoyed the movie to some extent. It wasn't really anything that great, but I can see people enjoying this on like an OTT platform. I simply would not recommend going to the theater to watch this, as it doesn't have any rewatch value. You probably won't be as invested in it as much, because it is a very slow burn. The movie is very slow. It takes its time, but it does get to the point. There's no build up to anything. It just shows you what it is just right from the start. So there's that. But the movie is extremely slow. You really feel it. But not as slow as other films. I say it's somewhat in the medium speed, but it is slow compared to something like an action thriller or something. So, the movie does take its time. So it's not something I would, like, if you're looking for escapism or anything like that, then this is not the kind of movie I would recommend. So I would suggest you wait for the OTT and watch it once rather than going to the theater. But it is an entertaining movie. It is a one-time watch movie, but it doesn't have that rewatch value. It's not a movie that I would ever want to put on again, and it's a movie that I probably would have skipped if I wasn't going to make this video. So what do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comments what you thought of the movie. Did you find it entertaining, or was it underwhelming? Just let me know, and I guess I'll see you in the next one.
Girl, you shut me down and there's no witness. Got me in my feels, she would never listen. All the alcohol is in my liver. I guess I lost and you're the winner. Missing your touch, you were a good kisser. I was born to say